Hey, and welcome to this episode of Coffee and Chats with myself and Kerrie. So, it's been a little while since we've done it. So, if you are here, please let us know you're here. Just give us a little hi. Let us know in the comments that you're watching. Also, please share it. Share it with your community so then, who knows that this little conversation might actually benefit someone in yours who just not aware of us. So, Kels, how things? What are we going to have a little chat about today?
I think today we are going to chat about how being skeptical isn't actually going to serve you and give you the life you want.
I get that. Like before we jump into that, it's like why being skeptical, right? Like what's the main reasons people are skeptical? Like not just in what we do, but in general. What could that be?
Oh, by the way, let's separate. There's times to be have critical thinking about something, but if you're always skeptical about everything and you want 100% guarantees for everything in life, it's just going to stop you moving forwards. And I think people are skeptical when it's something new, right? And that could be for anything. And that's what I said, you just want all the information, you want all the data. But then the problem is with that, where's the finish line? There'll never be enough data. And then you'll always just be wanting more. So essentially what it comes is just this extreme frustration for yourself because you'll feel like nothing is ever enough and you'll always want more and more. So essentially you keep yourself stuck and unhappy. And that's something I just wanted to dive into today.
Nice. And again, well, I think we've all had moments, haven't we? We've all had that moment of being skeptical about things. It's just human nature, isn't it? It's because that's what the brain does. Like the brain is there to keep us safe, so it puts this skepticism in place. It's like, well, if you do that, well, like, what's the worst that's going to happen? And the brain then takes us to those places.
I'm pleased you said that because with the brain and thinking, we're so conditioned to think negatively. What's the worst? Like safety. And what I want to talk about is being optimistic is going to just give you such a better, lighter life because no matter the situation, if you can be optimistic, it's just going to make those challenges feel much lighter and easier to move through. And even if, there's a part of you that has doubt, I mean, we all have doubt, right? We all have fear, we all have worry. But if you can be like, do you know what, rather than thinking, I don't know, or what's the worst that's going to happen, we'll be like, well, why am I having this conversation? Or why have I even gone down this route anyway? Because there's a part of you there that knows you want more, you want better, you want change.
Well, yeah, because you wouldn't be thinking about it unless you do actually want that.
Exactly. So can you see how skepticism is actually just keeping you stuck and unhappy?
Yeah, like you have to sort of laugh at the situation, don't you? Like if you think about it, it's like, hang on a minute, I'm only aware of this skepticism because I'm aware of where I want to be, or I've had thoughts about it, but then I'm going to have this skepticism to stop me where I am, so then I then don't get, so then I then don't, maybe then I then don't get the feeling of failure, the feeling of, of regret of not getting there.
But what else comes with that though? Because you're
The
like, all
regret
right,
of not getting there because I haven't even started it.
so then what else happens? The skepticism that we think is keeping us safe, actually, we can just, I just think that people who are skeptical about everything can become bitter and angry. And I just don't think it's a quality that's serving you. And I think if there's that somewhere you're reaching out to, you're exploring, yes, have critical thinking and be mindful, but also allow yourself to move with it. Because often then what happens is you become so skeptical about it that you don't do anything, or you decide, I do want to do it, but I'm nervous about that, so I'll find a cheaper option. because then you're kind of telling yourself, right, I'm doing something, but I'm going to have the cheaper option, because then that's like my safety net, because if it doesn't work out, it's okay. But what happens normally when we go down the cheaper route?
Yeah. But I don't know where I was going to go. I had it in my head, so I'm not sure where I was going to go. Yeah. But again, it's having that skepticism. Yes, it can help you, but yes, it also can stop you, right? And again, it's like one of our current clients in a minute. He was very skeptical when we first spoke. He was very, very skeptical when we first spoke. He was like, "Oh, I need to do my due diligence before I start," and all of that. And I was like, "Okay, whatever. Like you go do that." And then he actually came on the call. Like he's now what, 9 weeks in, and he actually came in and he was like, "I feel so bad." He goes, "I feel so bad that I felt like that at the start." I was like, "Well, it doesn't bother me. Like you're here now, but." But again, he goes, "I feel so bad because like you are legit and this program's legit and it's more than just this program that's benefiting." But again, though, we are just conditioned, aren't we? We are conditioned in a world, in a society now, unfortunately, to have that skepticism, because people are, everywhere, isn't it? People have false claims. Everywhere has these false hopes and dreams and all of that, and people get burnt. And it's understandable that people get burnt from having skepticism, from being skeptical, right? And that's why they're there, right? Sorry, they've been burnt and all of that from having the trust, which is then why now they're skeptical, because they might have had those experiences in the past. So how could someone that knows they want to change and they are rather skeptical, like what could that person do to then help reduce that skepticism, do you think?
I think, like with anything in life, because our children are skeptical, right? When we try to say, like, look, we're going to go and do this activity or try this new sport, like jiu-jitsu, skeptical. Oh my God, very scary. But
Or it's like, oh, I don't want to go to that beach.
Yeah, our son in particular, our eldest, very skeptical about new beaches. But Adam and I were actually just having this very conversation this morning. It's like, how do we move through that feeling? And it comes back to the same thing. Action will always help move you forward and come out of that place of, because you can be skeptical and still move with it anyway, because then as you're moving through it, you will get feedback and answers. And at least by allowing yourself to be skeptical but do it anyway, you're either going to know, as your client said, 9 weeks in, I feel bad now, or, okay, that's not right for me, but now I know. But being skeptical and doing nothing it's just painful, and then it will play out in physical symptoms for you, right? And frustration and anger, and then that comes out in a behavior.
That's it. And that's it. It's like you said, it like the key to getting over that skepticism is actually just to pull the trigger and to start moving forwards. Actually, action, right? Action is going to kill everything. Taking action is the answer to most things. It's the answer to having this skepticism. Well, you're not going to know until you actually try it, are you? It's like being anxious. How do you get over being anxious? We'll do some actions to move you forwards, some positive actions, like go and move your body, go out for a walk. That's going to help you feeling anxious.
Exactly.
If you've got this conversation with someone that you need to have, and you're building it up, or how are you going to get better, how are you actually going to get over that conversation? Well, actually go and have that conversation. It's like pulling a trigger on something, actually cutting loose ends on something that you need to. Well, how are you going to get over that? well, you're actually going to have to cut the trigger on it and actually get rid of it, aren't you? So again, the key isn't it's about like there's nothing that you can actually say that's actually going to help with anything really, apart from taking action.
Exactly. And that comes back to what I said earlier. You can like gather all the information on something, you can get all the data, but essentially it's not going to help until you just move with it. And I just think like skepticism, it just isn't serving you. You can be skeptical, you can have an awareness, have
Yeah, of
some
course. Yeah, of
critical
course.
thinking about something, right? And also with that, just because you can be skeptical, but you can move forward. So say if whatever, but we could apply this to relationships, right? Someone could have a series of like hard going relationships where they've just been burnt. But if you know that you want to get married, have children, are you going to decide that actually, no, it hasn't worked in the past, so I'm just going to stay single? Or do you keep going anyway?
That's it. It's like your mum, she was skeptical of me, wasn't she? When you first told her that we were messaging. She said, oh, be careful. He's a personal trainer. But, yeah.
Skepticism.
Exactly. No, but that's what it is, right? That's what it is. But anyway, that's the thing, isn't it? It's action. You've got to take action. That action's going to beat everything.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that's a nice quick one today, Kels. A nice quick one, in and out. So thank you for joining us, everyone, for this nice quick coffee and chat today. Okay, just on skepticism. Yes, it is good to have that level of thinking, that level of awareness of, but also though there is a point where you just have to take action, right? You just have to take action. You're not going to have everything just figured out, because if you did, you would have been doing it already.
And how do we figure things out?
By taking action. That's it. So guys, please, any questions, please send myself or Kels a message. Again, like I said, if you did find this useful, please like it. Please send it in a message to someone. Please share it. And we'll see you on our next episode of Coffee and Chat.